Hello, everybody, and it's January of 2022. I hope you enjoyed the festive period of the last year, whether you celebrate Christmas or you just had some time off work and spent time with family and had a bit of a break from the normal routine. So, as the song says, Christmas is coming and the goose is getting fat, or maybe that was just yourself, or maybe you were getting a little bit on the larger side than normal anyway. Whatever the case might be, January is traditionally the month of self assessment, maybe a little bit of self loathing, and either way, you're going to beat yourself around the head with the latest fitness regimes and fads, feel bad about yourself by February, and give up. And there are many reasons for that, and I'm going to give you some tips and advice about how to set yourself up for a successful change in lifestyle. Move towards being a little bit healthier. Think about what's in your best interests, and hell, maybe even have some success in all those areas. Okay, so how do you get started on your new regime, the step towards a newer, healthier approach to life? Well, first off, let's have a healthy conversation, an honest conversation about your particular goal. Okay. Now, what is it you think you want to achieve when you think about, I want to become a healthier version of myself? I want to get fitter. I want to get stronger. I want to think about maybe a 5K or a 10K run in a few months. And let's be honest, 95% of you out there that don't have a specific sports goal in mind will have the same goal. I would like to be a little bit less soft and squishy in certain places than I am right now. I know there'll be some people who resent the idea that I would say that so bluntly, but that is going to be exactly the case for most people who seek a gym membership in January, who think about hiring a personal trainer, who are looking online for the best programs to suit them. That is going to be the vast majority of you's personal goal. Okay, so let's be honest about that right from the off, because if you can't be that honest with yourself, you are never going to get anywhere, because you can't even have that degree of self-reflection. Okay, it's very, very important to know exactly what it is you want to achieve. Now, it's also very, very important to understand the realities of what you're trying to achieve, okay? Don't go looking out onto social media and going, I want to look like him or her. I want to have that waist. I want to have those abs, that chest, those shoulders. I want to have those clothes now because I want to look like this shape, okay? That's all about someone else's life. Yes, you can find inspiration from what another person may have achieved for themselves, but think about you as an individual. What does your life look like up to this point? Okay, what did you look like 5, 10 years ago, where maybe you hadn't taken on the stresses of a full-time job and kids and a mortgage and a relationship and maybe a divorce and maybe another job, and you've moved across the country, maybe you've emigrated, all the things that have come upon you since your teenage years? What have you looked like throughout the course of that journey? Okay, did you ever look like what you're trying to achieve and you're trying to get back to that? Or are you trying to embark on some life-changing experience? Because whatever the journey you're trying to get yourself onto, you need to know what it's going to be from day one. When I speak to a potential new client, the conversation I have, I'm going to ask you what you want your goal to be. What is the objective? Where do you see yourself being happy? And you tend to get one or two kind of common phrases. You'll get some buzzwords thrown in there. But then I'm going to come back around to that same question later on in the conversation. And I'm going to ask it again, sometimes with different use of language, sometimes just directly the same question. And now I'm going to say, tell me what you want to achieve in your own words. What are you going to be happy succeeding with? What do you actually want to look like? How do you actually want to feel? Give me a goal that's going to make you feel like you've achieved something worthwhile. And you know what? The answers to that second question are never the same as the first time. When you say to me, oh, I want to be this dress size, I want to be this weight, I want to look like that person I've seen in this movie. Okay, we'll come back around to it. What are you going to be happy with? I want to look like I did before I had my 2 kids. I want to be able to go and buy a new wardrobe so I cast a bit more of a striking image when I go out socially, when I'm at work. I want to be taken seriously. I want to look, like I can turn a head or two at some point and feel better about myself and have some more confidence. That's an honest answer. That's the reality of what a successful change in fat reduction and improvement in fitness and strength and self-esteem can actually look like, okay? So that's what you should be thinking about when you set your real term goals, your reality, what it is you want to get to. It's my experience that with an awful lot of clients, you set yourself a goal, we're here and in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, I'd like to be at this point. And you know what? During the course of that whole experience, an awful lot of people realize they actually have reached what they think their goal should be with only 50% or 75% of their effort, because they're eating better, they're exercising, they've got some new clothes, they're going out more socially, they're enjoying a whole healthier, happier routine. And you know what? they can still have the indulgences. They can still go out for a drink with their friends. They can still have the meal out during the week and go and see their family and have a nice weekend meal somewhere without feeling bad and guilty, because they've achieved a lot of the changes they want without some kind of really militant extremist set of rules and regulations they have to impose on themselves. Because when you start to look at the extremes of everything, you get the whole punishment sort of regime starts to set into you emotionally. You fixate on things like the scales. You fixate on the amount of time and hours you spent exercising this week. Did you go to the gym as many times as last week? Did you eat the wrong foods? Oh my God, let's feel bad about ourselves. Let's punish ourselves. Let's feel guilty. Oh, screw it. I had one biscuit. Let's eat an whole packet because I've ruined the day. All those kind of scenarios you don't really want to introduce to your life. So don't start from day one. Okay. So what should you expect? Well, from day one, once you start, I say day one, it could be day 5 of the month, but from your first serious point of origin when it comes to weight loss and exercise and nutrition, understand from the off, this is going to take time. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to take years, although in some cases with some people, that is indeed what happens, but it's going to take time. Okay. You need to have a bit of a think and a conversation with yourself and maybe a qualified professional to go, right, what is it I want to achieve? What does that program look like from initially starting to adjusting as we go after the first month and the second month? And it's got to fit within my current lifestyle. Okay. I work these hours. These are inflexible. So my exercise has to fit around my work schedule. My getting groceries or having deliveries to the house has to fit when I'm at home or when my partner's at home. All those kind of things, because you now have to fit the reality of what you're trying to do into your existing lifestyle. Yes, you're going to make some changes as you go along, but you need to really start to build the whole package here to suit you. And fundamentally here, you have to maintain a degree of flexibility, okay? The newly qualified personal trainers out there are going to have all these grand schemes in their head, and commonly, most of them are going to come to you, the would-be client, and they're going to try and give you a rigid schedule of, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to be really disciplined and really focused and everything else, which is great because for the most part, they're all aged between 20 and 25. Maybe they still live at home. Maybe they've got their first place, but life is not really giving them all the burdens that maybe you have. So when they say to you, live this lifestyle, guess what? It may not work for you. So think about the flexibility of what you're trying to impart into yourself right from the off. Because again, all the addition of stresses that seem unreasonable are going to give more weight to the idea of, I can't maintain this. This is not going to work. All right. So how do you go about getting started? We've already hit on, you need to have at least a sense of what your goals are. You want to think about maybe the long-term goal. And again, to give you the best chance of succeeding, let's think about some short-term goals throughout that journey. Okay. If your goal is to say, I want to lose 50 pounds, whatever that is in stone, if you're back in the UK, where I'm from, guess what? You're not going to lose that in the first week. You're not going to lose that in the first month. So we're going to aim for, say, a degree of weight loss on a monthly basis, because loss and change and adaptation is not linear. So there's going to be some ups, there's going to be some downs, but set yourself an expected goal over a period of time. And that comes with all aspects when it comes to your your consistency with going to the gym or wherever you exercise, whether it's at home or in the park, your consistency with eating well, making good choices, and all those kind of things. Understand that you're not going to be perfect from day one, so don't even try. Okay, if you want to be successful, and I'm going to keep saying it throughout this podcast, understand flexibility. Real world things come at you. Okay, maybe, guess what? I was going to go to the gym today, but damn it, I've got to go and take the kid to school because he missed the bus. Or we've had an accident in the kitchen, the fridge is bust and there's water everywhere and I've got to repair that. I'm going to have to cancel my class this evening. All these things do come at us. So be flexible. Don't stress about it, but understand you have to make adjustments. If your goal requires you to go to the gym 3 sessions a week or 4 sessions a week, but guess what? That doesn't have to be those same days every single week. If you go Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday to the gym, maybe some weeks you need to miss one of those days and reschedule it, but make the adaptations there. Be flexible, okay? So going forward, what do you focus on first? Is it food? Is it exercise? Is it everything at once? Depending on your personal circumstances, whether if you've got a highly specific sport-related goal or something else that has to be really highly customized, then the approach is going to be a little bit different. My personal recommendation to anyone who might listen to this in the broader scope of things is think about exercise first. And I'm going to explain to you why I say that. You need to start to introduce things to your lifestyle that haven't been there up to this point, and that's going to be basically an introduction to stress. because you're going to have to put new things into your routine that you're going to have to crowbar into your lifestyle. That is going to take some effort and time to adapt and get used to. Okay, so we're not going to focus on bringing everything in there at once. So we're going to focus on exercise first. All right, think about where you have to go if you're not exercising at home, the time it takes to get there from your house or on the way back home from work, whatever it might be. Get the exercise sorted first. Get used to adding that to your routine. Start to understand the energy that you need to take with you when you go to the gym. Start to understand what it feels like to recover the next day, the energy that you need, and start to adapt to that. Okay, so already you're thinking, but I've always heard in all these programs you do everything at once. Well, you can do, but guess what? The harder you make it, the less likely you are to stick to it, the less likely you are to succeed. So start exercising, make that your priority, okay, when it comes to the whole changing your lifestyle. With your food then, yes, you are going to start to implement changes. However, for the majority of my personal training clients, guess what? For that first phase, whether that's 2 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on your personality and your lifestyle and how hectic things might be, you are not going to weigh anything. You are not going to count calories. Your focus is going to be on starting to develop your interests, start to experience new foods, start to think about nutritional quality, where you get your foods from, the kind of ways you're using to cook things, prepare things, what you're combining in terms of foods, what you're having as snacks, what you're drinking. Start to build a better quality of nutrition throughout your lifestyle. I don't want you cutting any energy straight away because you don't yet know what your energy demands are going to be in relation to your exercise, okay? And if you're starting to build a bit of strength and require a bit more energy, then you want those calories. You want the idea of, I'm eating to allow myself to do something, not I'm trying to starve myself and trying to thrash myself at the same time. Because guess what? That's what most generic programs do. And we all know that a lot of the time, those are a harsh, overly restrictive experience, and they don't work very well for most people. And you know what? They're not even designed to. The goal for those programs is to put people through them, thrash them for 4 weeks or 6 weeks. You go away, you think you've lost a little bit of weight, which in reality is mostly water weight, but we'll leave that for another conversation. And what do you do in week 7? Oh, I don't know. I'm back to my old habits. There you go. Come and buy our next program, and so on and so forth. Okay, so right from the off, you're exercising. You're going to start to adapt to that. You're going to get used to the routines there, and you're going to think about improving your quality of nutrition, and that is all you are going to do. No stress, no weighing, no measuring, no pouring things into a jug, no buying a set of new scales for the kitchen. Just start to get used to a change in routine and eating to a better standard, because believe it or not, that will already start to see change and foster adaptation in your body. Okay, your body's going to respect. Your body's going to start to adapt to the new stress that you brought to it, and the new nutrition that you're implementing into your lifestyle is going to have its own effect. You're going to reduce the amount of preservatives and junk calories you're taking into your body, which of course is a great thing. You're going to start to eat foods that have the ability to satisfy your appetite, yet have a lower calorie content. So straight away there, you're imparting a good degree of calorie deficit without starving yourself. So you're onto a winner right from day one. So only when you move into what I would tend to call the second phase, or typically maybe the second month, that you start to think about a reasonable understanding of a set calorie deficit. But that's another conversation. So now we've got those things sorted out. You know what you're doing. You started to make better nutritional choices. You've got some exercise into your lifestyle, and you're going along well. You're starting to get fitter. You're starting to see maybe an adjustment already in your body weight. Where do you go from there? Well, first off, stay consistent. That is going to be key now, because what you're looking to do is to build a change to your lifestyle, to your habits, to your routines. Because even if I've only got you as a trainer and a client relationship for a period of months, I want you to leave this relationship, sadly, of course, because you're going to miss me, you're going to stop paying me, which is going to upset me. But I want you to leave this relationship armed with information and habits and a knowledge that you carry long into your lifestyle. Because even if you do step off the routine for a while, or you have a bit of a wave because you go on vacation, all of which is fine, by the way, you can come back to what you've already been doing in the past because you're already armed with it. It doesn't go away. You know what? I'm going to get back to my routines. I'm going to go back to filling the fridge with these kind of foods. I'm going to return to my exercise as I used to do and go from there. Okay. It's important to understand that, yes, you can eat well. You can train and you can get fitter. You can do all the things that you've started to build in a healthy lifestyle. But guess what? You can still enjoy dessert. You can have a drink of alcohol. You can have carbs. You don't need to train every day, because all of those things make a healthy lifestyle and a good mindset. The key is to understanding the balance relevant to your goals, the quality of your food, the quality of your exercise, and very importantly here, the quality of the time where you're not exercising. Are you breaking on the days when you don't have exercise and it's just stress, 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 personal life, family, kids, work? You go to sleep, you wake up, exercise again, because that's not going to get you the best results, okay? Part of instilling a healthier lifestyle is to comprehend the idea that you need to start to build a pattern of quality sleep. You need to have a consistent sort of routine of winding down most nights, going to bed, and you go to sleep, okay? I personally haven't had a television screen in my bedroom since my early 20s because you know what? You don't need one. Leave the TV in the living room. When you go to bed to sleep, all right? Maybe you read a bit, but you don't have the visual stimulation of a screen. Start to establish a healthy routine for going to sleep. Get some high quality time where your body starts to regenerate and you recover. And from that point forward, you are again contributing to your quality of life. All of these things do make a difference. So what are you ultimately aiming for? You are aiming for a lifestyle that is going to deliver you from where you were at the beginning all the way towards your goal. And it's important to understand some factors here. This whole routine, if you're going to be successful, has to be guilt-free. No pressure, no bad feelings, no emotional fixations on what the scale says this day when 7 days ago it said this or something different. And oh my God, maybe I've suddenly put on 5 pounds in the last few days. But guess what? You haven't. Maybe you haven't yet been to the bathroom this morning. Maybe you're retaining a bit of water, whatever it might be. Don't fixate on small details, okay? You start to build these negative emotional attachments and you start to build the guilt complex, the bad feelings about yourself, the doubt about your efforts and all the things that you need to have within yourself, the enthusiasm, the energy. And guess what? You start to go backwards or you just stray from all the work you've been doing, which becomes less stressful the longer you do it because you are now changing your lifestyle. So happy feelings all the time. Even when you feel tired and you're not really feeling it today, don't beat yourself up because guess what? You're an adult. If you listen to this podcast, I assume you're an adult. So you know what? If you get home from work today and you go, oh, just what? Fuck it. I'm not going to go and have what I've made in the fridge for dinner. Me and the husband, me and the wife, or if you're single, you by yourself. Just screw it. I've had a crap day. I'm low energy. Just this once, it's going to be feet up, bad quality TV, and I'm going to order out. Okay, guess what? That's life. Okay? I don't live a perfect militant regime, and I'm a personal trainer, so you don't have to too. The key to not having that influence your progress is not to make it a regular occasion. If it happens once, you're an adult. You made a choice. Live with it. If you've got a friend who's got a birthday party, go to the birthday party. Have some wine. Have some cake. Guess what? It's a celebration. Enjoy yourself. If you're really anal about it, just don't go OTT on the calories. Relax. Life is meant to be about living for a long time and a good time, not a hard time. Okay? So you've got yourself set up. You've understood what I've been saying so far. You understand the value of an intelligent approach that's non-stressful. It's not aggressive. It's not extreme. And you're taking things in a sensible manner, which is fantastic. Because when you look at the broad scope picture of what the fitness industry should be doing for every single person, whether it's online, via YouTube, in a program that you buy and you get as an ebook or one-to-one, it should be a case of understanding who you are as the client, the person who's going to buy into what we're selling and trying to instruct and teach to get you to the end result is getting you to understand your personal circumstances and what is going to work for you, okay? Because I could take anybody out into the gym and train them like I'm training if I'm prepping for a rugby sevens tournament. But then guess what? A few months from now, I might think about going for a triathlon. My training will train very differently. And the person who's followed me in the gym to train for rugby wouldn't necessarily want to start coming, swimming, running, and cycling with me. Things have to relate to what it is you do, your lifestyle, and to be honest, your enthusiasm. Because there are lots of different things that motivate different people, okay? If you've suddenly decided to take the bull by the horns and go, yes, damn it, I'm going to make some changes to myself and my lifestyle because I want to, great, you're a self-motivating individual, and that's going to serve you well. If you're someone who needs to work with someone else in a gym environment because you can't really put that fire behind yourself every time you go to the gym, that's fine. You're not alone out there. There are a lot of people like that. But you need to make sure that you maintain a degree of enthusiasm to at least get you to the gym. Okay. I check in with my clients personally on WhatsApp now and again. It's a case of like, hey, how you doing? Because you really pushed hard in the gym the other day. How are your legs feeling? Or, you pulled your back helping the kids get out of the car the other day. How's that feeling? Because if it's still something you're aware of, I'm going to make some changes to your gym session tomorrow. All that kind of stuff. Are you doing well with your food right now? Do you want my input with anything? And so on and so forth. Okay. Understand that you're doing this for yourself. Okay. Don't punish yourself. Enjoy what you're doing. And it's all about the experience, because you want to get something from this. That's what you're doing it for. Okay. You shouldn't be paying someone to torture you and punish you. It shouldn't be an act of self-harm. All right. Now, I know there are people out there that it's going to come around again in January. People go, oh, you know what? 95% of diets don't work. Why are you even bothering, man? Just give up. People are meant to look like what they look like, and so on and so forth, and whatever bollocks that they're going to talk about. Well, guess what? Weight loss does work. Getting fitter does work, because the opposite is also true. You can gain weight if you don't look after yourself. You can become unfit and weak if you don't look after yourself. So, of course, the inverse must be true. And what you've also got to consider, to everyone who says those kind of things, is they're always going to have a bias because of their own experience. No one who has successfully got themselves in shape is going to tell you that it doesn't work because they've done it. The kind of people that would say that kind of thing to you and look with some kind of derision at your own efforts are doing it for a variety of reasons. They feel bad about themselves. They want to be an asshole to you, or they think maybe I couldn't do that. I wouldn't bother putting the effort in, so I'm going to just knock you and hopefully make you feel bad about yourself. So you stop as well. What you've also got to think about, okay, is the source of the kind of people or negative influences when it comes to that kind of attitude. Because if you stood outside a divorce lawyer's office and asked everybody that came out over the course of any given day, do you think marriage works? What are you going to hear? No, because they're coming from the point of their own personal experience, all right? So don't listen to people that are going to knock you. Don't listen to negative influences. Think about your own personal journey, okay? And do it with enthusiasm. So I'm going to wrap this up with a few points that I think are important to everyone out there to be aware of, because these are things to be avoided, okay? First of all, anything and anyone who promises you a vast, radical change in a short period of time, because guess what? That's entirely bullshit. You are not going to lose 10 pounds in 5 days, 30 pounds in a month, or any other kind of bullshit that promises you that. Short of an industrial accident with something that involves a heavy saw blade, you are not going to lose hefty weight in a short period of days. So don't waste your time. Anything that says, get my shake, drink my coffee, blah, 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 lose all this weight, it's all based around some kind of diuretic, this slim tea, all the same thing. You are basically going to go to the bathroom an awful lot more than you used to. In a few days, you'll get rid of a load of water weight. You'll weigh a bit less on the scales. You'll think you've had a successful experience. They've made a lot of money off you for what is essentially a crap quality tea bag, and that's it. Don't believe the hype. All of those products are complete bullshit, okay? Avoid any form of extreme dietary restriction or exercise. You don't build something up by damaging your tools, okay? So you are not going to build yourself a healthier, happier body if you start off by starving yourself. Don't ever go down that route, all right? I know there are a lot of people who are going to sell these kind of programs and these regimes and go, hey, I lost all this kind of weight because I only ate 500 calories a day. Well, guess what? There are standards for what prisoners can be fed, because there are minimum quality nutritional intakes. Everyone knows that. Anyone with a brain will tell you, you don't do anything successfully by starving yourself. So don't do that. And it's the same story when it comes to exercise. You've got to bear in mind what I said right at the start of this podcast, that when you're introducing exercise to a level more than you do currently, or that you've not done anything for a long time, it is a degree of stress that you're not used to, which means your body isn't used to reacting to it and recovering from it. So guess what? Anything you do is going to be significant. So when I see people go along and go, I'm going to do this extreme circuit training and I'm going to do this high intensity interval stuff. Yeah, it's an extreme thrashing for anybody. That's the point of it. It's extreme. Whereas if you were doing nothing for a long period of time and you're introducing exercise yourself, get used to doing a modicum of exercise and recovering and doing that frequently. All right. Don't necessarily fixate on going box jumping and sprinting and Olympic lifting and everything else. Think about moving for a period of time, doing some regular structured resistance training, so all of your muscles get exercise throughout the course of a week's exercise program, and see how that feels. Build up to the high level work, because guess what? Even athletes have to start from a lower level when they come back from off season and think about, okay, I've had some periods sat on my ass watching Netflix, I haven't done anything, back to moving, build up some strength and build up from there. So my input on approaching the fitness industry then is the last point, okay? Value yourself, because when you go and approach a gym or go to a class or go to speak to a trainer or a coach, you need to have some self-respect. Do not feel like you have to keep paying someone you don't feel happy with. Do not feel like you just need to hand over money on a routine basis if you're not seeing any degree of results. And don't be afraid to talk to them, ask questions, expect an intelligent response. If you get someone who gets arsy about you because you've asked them, when am I going to start to see a change, or I'm not happy with doing this exercise, and they don't really have a sense of engagement with you, you don't need to keep working with them. Tell them how you feel, and if you don't get an adequate response, say, you know what, thanks very much, I'm calling it a day here, I'm going to speak to someone else. Don't feel like you're stuck with the first person you speak to or the first class you join. One last little tip here from me, I think anyone who goes to a gym should be mindful of: do not continue to pay and work with someone who eats during your sessions, who engages in full conversations with anybody who walks past them in the gym, or uses their phone on social media. All right. Treat yourself as a part of a professional relationship. I don't expect my doctor or my lawyer or my accountant or anyone else I engage on a professional basis to just have a low attention span that wanders whenever they feel like it. Otherwise, I'm going to look at them and go, oi, I'm paying you. Yeah, eyes here. Let's switch on. If you're going to the gym, you're asking someone to use the knowledge that you hope they have to work with you for the betterment of your health. That should be someone's entire focus for the time that you're working with them, whether it's a half an hour, 45-minute, or an hour-long session, okay? That's certainly how I operate. I don't even have my phone on me when I work with my client. I certainly don't engage with anybody else because you are my sole focus. It's also because I'm meant to be there to watch out for your safety. So if you have that kind of experience where you don't really feel like the person's engaging with you, then tell them, as I said before, don't be afraid of them. Don't be afraid to say, hey, guess what? I need a bit more instruction here. Or I don't feel I got this quite right. And if you can't get the response you think you deserve, then again, walk away. Okay? I see an awful lot of people in some of the gyms I visit and talk to people that are spending money for experiences that aren't productive and are essentially being disrespected by people who don't take them seriously and don't think they're worth their attention. So this has been my first solo podcast. I'm sure I won't be the last. I hope you've taken something from this. At least you've got an idea of what you should be doing to go about a successful introduction to healthier lifestyle and exercise, and thinking about what you eat and drink. I wish everyone out there the very best in your health and fitness experiences. Take care, and I'll be speaking to you again soon.